Welcome back everyone to the State of the Nation. During the inauguration of the 10th Parliament, a lot of focus was given about reviving the ailing economy. What we heard from President Kumara Dissanayake was nothing new. Many governments have tried to focus on the same areas. But what's the difference between the National People's Powers Policy and what is being done? Well, it remains to be seen. Let's get some reactions. Joining me now is opposition parliamentarian from the Samagi Janabalawege, Dr. Harsha De Silva. First things first, Doctor, congratulations on being re-elected rather, to the 10th Parliament. What do you all expect to do in this new Parliament? The last one, we saw you all fought very vigorously for many key factors, especially in financial governance. What would be the key agenda this time around?
First of all, thanks to the congratulations, Mahieash. I mean, it was a very hard-fought win for us. I must thank the people of Colombo for actually increasing our preference percentage by some 90%. Goes to show that people actually appreciate our style of politics. Now, we are in the opposition and we have to play a strong opposition role. Because we have in numbers only 40 in our party, and together we have some 60 odd, and we have to face a gigantic government both in front of us and behind us in the way we are seated in Parliament. So the big issue is going to be economic governance. How are we going to manage the difficult situation, the multiple challenges? So therefore, I expect to play a key role in agreeing with the government when they are right, and certainly vociferously disagreeing when they are wrong. Because I think it is critically important that we don't lose our way. Because if we do, we're going to be in serious trouble, not just in economics, but socially, politically, we are going to be in trouble. And we are going to support the government in their efforts to fight corruption. We will put both our hands up and we will do all we can to change the culture of impunity, of people being above the law, and so on. So therefore, on the one hand, fight for the right way in conducting economic affairs, and on the other hand, help the government fight corruption. So these are the two main things that we plan to do in Parliament.
Doctor, just going by the data, now back in 2020, the Samagi Janabalawege, the SJB, was raised to be the nation's main opposition. Since then, in every election, you keep losing votes. Have you managed to do an inward examination to figure out as to what's not resonating with the masses that your party is suggesting or proposing?
Well, actually, the JVP, NPP had a very strong narrative, and that was based on the failure of all previous governments, and we just got caught up in that entire tsunami. So whether it is in the south, whether it is in the north, whether it is in the plantation areas, the traditional parties were not able to hold on to their votes. So therefore, it was across the board, not just for our party. But having said that, we need to have introspective and look at what really went wrong in our strategy. Why were we not able to appeal to the people? Did we understand the issues that the people were really worried about? Were we willing to change our position in sort of getting on the same page with what people's thinking was? So there is going to be a lot of inward examination, looking at what we have to change, the structure of the party for sure, how we are going to organize ourselves in the future. What is going to be the leadership structure? All these things will need to be looked at if we are to make a serious comeback and win the next election.
Absolutely. Doctor, now Sri Lanka's current path towards recovery still seems to have many hardships on the horizon, especially there's a tendency towards high taxation. The SJB made a promise to the people saying that you will be taking another look at the current IMF program. Now, what would have been the main changes that you would have suggested if you were in power? And more importantly, how can you make it happen in this new context?
You see, the funny thing is today in the president's policy statement, he mentioned that there can be no changes to the IMF agreement. You see, during the campaign, this was the main argument. They went to the extent of saying they can even change the foundation of the IMF agreement, which is the debt sustainability analysis, which we said, no, it cannot be done. So there was actually a lot of miscommunication. Obviously, knowing that it couldn't be done, the government did promise to change. Now, that's all in the past. What they are suggesting is, look, no changes can be done. But what we had planned was to make certain internal adjustments, particularly on the debt restructure, to do what was right by the Employees' Provident Fund. And then on the taxes, we had planned to make certain amendments to the pay tax, some amendments to the corporate income tax, and so on. So therefore, if the government is willing to, perhaps they may look at it in the next budget to make certain changes within the parameters of the IMF agreement, we plan to consider those favorably. And if by any chance I chair the Committee on Public Finance, then I'll have a much more stronger and a more important role to play rather than being a mere MP. So let's see how it goes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's hope for the best. All right. I had to leave it at that. Dr. Harsha De Silva, opposition parliamentarian from the Samajana Balavagia. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mahieash.
Well,